guys, Relica here. So I got home a little while ago and I found out that this glorious thing had been posted, and I knew right away what I was doing with my evening. So right now I'm looking at the thumbnail and I already know that I'm going to have mixed emotions to this. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this 1 minute and 6 seconds and then be pissed off that there's not more. Looking at the thumbnail, I just want to say too before I start, I absolutely love the setup they have of their dorm room. Absolutely love that. I've always loved that Ruby's bed was like hanging by ropes, and that on Blake and Yang's shared bunk bed, she's using her books to hold up the beds. Which, I don't know why, I don't know why they couldn't just balance the bed. Well, actually, yeah. If she tried to take some of the books out, it would bring the top of the bed down a little bit too low. They had to keep that raised some. And yes, I'm actually sitting here and analyzing an animated bed and why it's set up the way it is. Because that is just how I do. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. And make sure I really am at the beginning. Yes, I am. Start.
Start our own band! Yes! I'm so edgy and cool. I'm practically a rock star already. Girl band! Yay!
Hi, kids!
A crazy thing happened before.
Wait, was that Ty?
Was that joke made of paper?
It is Ty!
Because
It was terrible!
No, not terrible, no!
What weird thing are you guys doing? Ah! Well, what you talking about? Wow!
And RWBY too! I mean, I was so busy reacting to
Textbooks are
Ty.
evil!
Cool! You gonna eat that?
This is the main event. Behold!
You are not ready for our rock! Boop. We will melt your bones!
Yeah!
Dad, I was trying to melt people's bones. Ugh, you're the worst.
This is awesome. See, I had to... That's why I just stopped talking partway through the video and just grinned, because I couldn't really say within the span of how quick the trailer was happening what I was loving the most, which I was really loving all of it. At first I was like, Ty, and I was so caught up in reacting to the appearance of Ty, which is the last thing in the world I was expecting, that I almost just totally saw through Oobleck, and I was like, oh my god, Oobleck is here too. Which, that makes me so happy, because Oobleck is like my absolute favorite professor out of all of them from RWBY. And don't get me wrong, Port's pretty funny, but Oobleck and his coffee mug weapon is definitely my favorite. I loved during the first 2 seasons. I think it was more in the second season. I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch it. Just him being in the classroom and zipping back and forth this coffee mug. We're just going to pretend that this is coffee. Hello, blah, 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 stuff about class, Zoom, blah, blah. Are you, and oh, history, have you been discriminated against? And just zooming and zipping, practically teleporting all over the classroom. And the first minute I saw him come onto the scene, I knew I was going to love him. I was like, God, I hope we see more of this guy. That's why the Mountain Glen mission made me so happy. I was like, yes, Port is their teacher, professor, for whichever. Doctor. I got it right, doctor. But you're still technically a professor, though, so I don't get it. He's hung up on his title. I was like, I'm so glad that he's, like, the leader of this group, even though everyone from RWBY was just like... I was like, okay, I was the only one freaking happy about this. Possibly the audience was the only one happy about this. And I really liked the Mountain Glen episode, so it's not like Oobleck is very hard to make funny. Neither is Ty, but oh my god. We have Yang and Ty both cracking puns together. I don't know if that might actually be overload for this season. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, I have to not forget to mention Torchwick and Neo, which I'm so freaking relieved. I'm like, please, 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 please keep them for season 2. Keep them for season 2. I almost literally died of happiness when I saw them in season 1 of Chibi. I was like, thank God that at least in this universe, they're still alive. Which I have my own Roman Torchwick kind of crack theory about how he might still alive. It's probably not going to happen, but I mean, everybody has their crack theories, and everybody wants to, well, I got mixed feelings about if Pyrrha would be resurrected, which don't get me wrong. I love Pyrrha from the bottom of my soul, cried when she died, but I feel like bringing her back would undo a lot of Jean's character development. It's just like it's the kind of death that happened to have an impact, and it's like if you undo it, then it doesn't have quite the impact. Of course, they're trying to bring back Church in Red versus Blue, it looks like, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But then I thought that season 13 was the end for a little while of Red versus Blue, and that's why I almost totally missed 14 before we got around to 15. I'm like, wait, the series is still going? So, yeah. But, oh man, I need this. I need this. Can we please, please, please just have it released earlier? Actually, it is just around, yeah, well, it is technically just around the corner, but Camp is the other show that I'm really, really having serious withdrawals from. I can't wait to do Camp reactions, and I'm so glad that they decided to continue that series. I was like, please tell me that season 1 is not it. And I'm so glad that I got to react to season 1 of Camp because I missed out on that with RWBY Chibi. I mean, yeah, technically I could go and post them, but they would be re-reactions, I guess. And some channels do that, but it's never the same as a fresh reaction, you know? Though, of course, I sometimes am tempted to go and watch Volume 1 and 2 again, just because, and 3, just because they were amazing. But, and to see some of my favorite episodes again. I'm so glad we're going to see Oobleck. Kind of makes me wonder if Port will show up. So they're kind of like the red and green. They're kind of like the Mario brothers of this world. It's almost weird not to see them in the same frame at some point. We need to have like this giant chibi mouse Grim chasing Port around. Or even just a regular mouse. My god, if Mice Grim or Rat Grim or Vermin Grim in general ever was a thing, could you imagine this guy's reaction? It'd be funny if Rooster Teeth ever did a spoof and did the RWBY characters reacting to their own episodes. I wonder what Torchwick's reaction would be to his death. Speaking of Torchwick, I was so afraid during one of the first episodes of Chibi that they were going to kill him off again, like in the Floor is Lava episode, which that was freaking brilliant. I love the Floor is Lava episode. I was like, oh no, they killed Roman again. I was like, Jesus Christ, stop killing Roman, stop killing my favorite character, stop. But he reappeared, so I'm like, well, apparently they don't stay dead in Chibi, so. No, and if some of you are wondering why I have a crack theory that Roman could possibly still be alive, I might make a separate crack video theory sort of thing on that. But, I mean, his symbol is the jack-o'-lantern. And it's because of the jack-o'-lantern legend that I kind of think there may be some hope of him still existing on some plane of existence. Maybe not exactly the same. Maybe as something other, but still existing. We never did see Neo's body. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Neo being alive. I mean, a lot of people have had things to say about that. I would be happy to know that she's alive, which I don't know how I'd like to see it go. She could either come back and blame everything on Cinder, be really pissed off, and possibly join the good guys, but on the other hand, she has just as much reason to be pissed off at RWBY, and may just go solo on the warpath on her own after RWBY, which I don't really mind which way they would go with that, so long as it's a vengeful Neo. I want a vengeful Neo. That would be beautiful. I would want Neo to try to avenge Torchwick. Which it seemed like these two, from his reaction when she got thrown off the airship, like they've been together for a long time and probably been through a lot. They are probably the only two people that the other trust. Because I get the feeling that Torchwick doesn't trust anyone except himself, and possibly Neo. So, oh god, I miss Torchwick. I miss Torchwick so much. I miss just seeing him saunter around being an asshole to his White Fang underlings, the poor White Fang people that had to work under him. I kind of wish I could have seen some of Adam's reaction to all of this, because I wonder if he had to be grinding his teeth during any of these, if he ever had to directly interact with Roman Torchwick. I just don't see him and Adam existing very well in a room together. I mean, we only see them on screen together once, but you kind of had Cinder there to mediate. So, and it was very brief. I wonder if Cinder doesn't keep them out of each other's sphere just to keep them from killing each other. Because it seems to me that Adam would not be the sort of person that would be amused by Roman's antics, and he probably already doesn't stick very well with him that he had to have some of his people taking orders from a human. Of course, Roman was just as thrilled about having to work with the Faunus, so, which I don't find that Roman is so particularly racist against the Faunus, so much as he just doesn't have respect for anybody, but still. Man, I hate that they killed him off. I hate that they killed him off. He was my favorite. Really was my favorite. Definitely in the villain category, he was my favorite. And I'm hoping that for Volume 5 that we'll see some more character development on Emerald and Mercury too, because I really do want to know more about their backstory. Emerald is actually the one who looks like she has the most potential to have a redemption arc. Because I remember during Volume 3, Mercury's actually filming all of the chaos and the violence and probably people dying, which is really fucked up, like the little shit he is. And Emerald's actually just kind of looks like she's kind of disturbed by what she's seeing. Like, yeah, she knew the plan, she knew it was going to happen, but having to actually see it unfold before her has, like, really unnerved her. And that's why I kind of think that Emerald might have some second thoughts about being. Of course, it's wondering what it's going to take though to cause that turnaround, because she's very, very loyal to Cinder, and she has a legitimate reason to be loyal to Cinder. It looks like she had nothing before Cinder. Well, both of them did. But I don't think Mercury got attached to Cinder on the emotional level that Emerald did, unless later character development proves me wrong. And she didn't even want Mercury initially joining, and we see when they walk into the warehouse and Torchwick is monologuing about what he'd do to them, and Cinder shows up. Emerald's whole demeanor changed. She just lights up because Cinder entered the scene. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's potential for a redemption arc, but at the same time, it's going to be really hard to crack that loyalty to Cinder, so I don't know how I feel about Cinder having a redemption arc. I kind of don't want it to become an everyone gets a redemption arc sort of thing, because that's just boring, but I'm gonna sip of this. This is delicious, by the way. Well, where was I going with that? Hold on, ADD brain. I know I had a point I was trying to make. Let me make it. Oh, Cinder Redemption. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with Cinder. I really, really just fucking hate her for what she did to Pyrrha. I hate her so much. I I think I stayed in shock for days after Volume 3. Don't even get me started again on Roman, because I'll go on for another hour of how angry and how upset that made me. But I don't know with Cinder. We still don't know a whole lot of her backstory. We really don't. Like, how'd she get in with Salem? How deep does her loyalty to Salem go, and why? We know Tyrion's totally devoted. Of course, Tyrion's also completely freaking insane, and he's become one of my favorite villains for this arc, but nothing can replace Roman. Roman's always going to be number one in my book. Really need to get that Torchwick t-shirt one day out of the store. Speaking of merchandise, I did buy some stuff during the Cinco de Mayo sale, so I'll have an unboxing video for y'all, hopefully in the future. Which I'm really looking forward to that for obvious reasons, because one, it's fun to unbox stuff, it's fun to show people what you got, and it's Rooster Teeth merch. It just needs to ship faster. But I'm not going to tell you what I got yet. Though one of the things I wanted was sold out, and it made me very sad. I wanted that damn lunchbox. Whatever, cord, tin foil, trading card carry box. It's a freaking lunchbox. Look at it. It's a lunchbox. It looks exactly like one of the lunch boxes I had as a kid, except obviously I didn't have a RWBY lunchbox. I don't care how dorky it makes me. If Jean can have a Pumpkin Pete hoodie, then I can have a RWBY lunchbox. So as you can see, I completely monologued about everything but the trailer. Well, I monologued about the trailer a little bit, but I also reminisced about some good times at RWBY and some bad times at RWBY. Speaking of reminiscing, for you guys, what's the best moment, like your favorite moment of RWBY, and what's the worst? I'm curious to know. If you care to let me know, leave that in the comments section. Also, if you like this reaction, like and subscribe. And hopefully I will be sitting here again soon enough watching a full episode. I really can't wait for that. That and Camp Camp. I'm gonna say it again. I need some Camp Camp so freaking bad right now. I will see you in the next, well, not trailer. Though if they want to go ahead and make another trailer, I'm not going to complain about that. I will see you in the next video.